Hello everyone, Joel with Anansi Creative here, and I was looking at some phone cases one day. I stumbled across this company called Nomad. Their website is really good, and I'm going to do an analysis of it in the future. But today, we're going to be creating a slider that's seen here. It showcases the aging process of the leather on their cases, and we're going to be building it in Webflow. When I started building this, what I wanted to do was to use no custom code and do it entirely inside of Webflow. And what I ended up doing was pretty much the exact opposite. What worked was to embed the slider using iframe in an embed element, and iframe, as fast as possible, is you load a website within another website. All right, let's get into this. Inside Webflow, we are going to drag an embed element and bring in this code from my GitHub page. What this script has is pretty much an iframe tag. The size is set to 100% of the embed element. The border styling is manually set to none, which is important because most browsers are automatically going to set a border to iframe elements. And then we have the source, which we will add later. That's everything in Webflow for now. Let's jump into Visual Studio. And Visual Studio is free, by the way. Inside Visual Studio, we have the code for our slider. This is also available on my GitHub page. And let's go over what we have. At the top, we install jQuery. Then we have the HTML, which is basically 4 divs. We have a container, which will set the overall size of the slider. And then we have our right and left images and a handle to drag and separate our images. As far as the CSS, the left image sets the initial state for the handle, which is 50% of the container. Both the right and the left image div blocks have images set as the background, and those are located in a folder along with the HTML document. And these are set to cover and to not repeat. Both divs do need to have the height specified. The right image uses a property called flex grow, and this is something not supported in Webflow. I think this is why I couldn't get anything to play nice inside of Webflow. What this does is it sets it to fill the space remaining that its sibling elements create inside of its parent element. And lastly, the handle has the cursor set to an arrow pointing both left and right. Next, onto the JavaScript. When the handle is held down, dragging becomes enabled, and when that happens, the left div changes its width to match the mouse position. Because the right div is set to grow, it will fill the remaining space. When you release the mouse, it sets dragging back to false in its new location. Let's run this locally and make sure it works. It does, so let's upload this to a server. I'm going to upload this as a folder to an Amazon S3 server. Inside an S3 bucket, we will upload the folder, which contains the HTML and the right and left images. If you are going to have multiple sliders on your website with different images, what I would do is just duplicate this folder and change the images inside, but give them the same name. Then upload all of your different folders into the same S3 bucket. Make sure the bucket and all of its contents grant public access. And then we need to get the URL of the HTML file. We will head back to Webflow now and add this as the source for our embed element. You should be able to see a preview of the slider, but we need to publish the site to test full functionality. Before we wrap this up, if you have multiple pages with different sliders, copy this one into the new page and give it a combo class so that you can make changes without affecting the original. And change the source. That's all. Now if we test that, we see we get the functioning slider just the same as on Nomad's website. Alright, that's all for this one. I'm going to do an analysis on Nomad's website soon because I think there's a lot to learn from it. There's a lot of good stuff on that one. I'd love to hear any ideas you have for how to improve this method, or any ideas for future videos inside of the comments. If you find these videos valuable, please support the channel, and I will see you guys next time.